Oh, hello there. It's me, Egil. As you know, I am a warrior, storyteller, mercenary, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about our first historian, Bede. Hey, before we do that, let's not forget. Don't forget to press the bell on the side there, leave us your comments, and of course, any subs, greatly welcome. Okay, so Bede. We hear about him all the time, but you know, who was this guy? Well, Bede himself was a monk. He was entered at the monastery in when he was about 8 years old. Now, we know that he wrote a book called History Ecclesiastica, or History of the English-speaking People, and it's an acknowledged, all kudos to him. It was a history as we recognise histories today, unlike Sagas. But there are a number of questions we need to ask. Firstly, who was he writing it for? Because who could learn to read? Well, basically, the monks were the guys who could read, and we think of reading and writing as two things. We know that Charlemagne could read but not write. That's so that he didn't have to put his signature to anything. But, so we're talking about that. And okay, why was it written? Did somebody out there have this massive feeling of, let's know about the past? No. Think about it. Bede is a Christian in a largely pagan land, so they're trying to promote Christianity. Not all monks could read or write, but they could listen. So you imagine the abbot who could read had got all his monks down there and starts to read out aloud about the past to monks. Who would take it on board? How accurate was it? Well, as accurate as we know is the short answer. But the trouble is, Bede's histories were subject to a lot of censorship. He didn't go to Rome for the records. He sent out somebody to go to the library. The Pope himself decided what that clerk would take back with him. Then the clerk would filter out the stuff that he thought might be useful. Then Bede again looked at this and thought, we don't want that. There's also the problem of assumption, in that, yes, he talks about promoting the Christian faith, but when he's on about paganism, he doesn't really mention it. A, because he doesn't want to promote it, and B, he assumes you know about it anyway. So, if you bear those things in mind, I mean, his work is acknowledged the world over, and I'm not taking anything from it, but he was a tremendously educated and great man. Those of you who want to see his tomb, he's at Durham Cathedral. He's there for the foreseeable future. But they never gave him a sainthood, but he was a venerable man. Although when they wrote to him, they addressed the letter Sancte. It was a courtesy. It's like Mr. or something like that. So we learned a great deal from it. There is some controversy about the Yvering. He mentions Yvering doesn't actually mention Yvering as a royal site, although everybody assumes it is. Whether it is or isn't, my friend Sue Cavill's there. Okay, we know that's a very contentious issue. So, yes, there are various contentious issues, some things, but we learned so much from Bede, and it's an unwise person who studies the Dark Ages and doesn't read it. It can be a bit tedious at times, but hey, what book can't be? But it is a good source material. Incidentally, for those of you living in Northworthy, if you buy the Colgrave and Miners version, which is the fully extended version of History Ecclesiastica, Derby is mentioned. It is the St Altman Northumbrian prince was killed, and his body was taken by the River Derwent to the place, some called DRB and others called Northworthy. Interesting to note that around here as well there are a lot of St Altman's churches, and that's because that's where they rested the body overnight, because you can't carry a body 24/7, you have to rest up. In conclusion, is Bede worth reading? Yes, it is worth reading, even if you're not academically inclined towards the Dark Ages. It gives you an idea of his thought processes, but if you bear in mind the stringent censorship that Bede himself was under, there's a lot missing, but we can have to work with what we've got, and we owe him a lot, a great deal. He can identify things for us, and we've used him in conjunction with archaeological digs. So anyway, on that note, happy reading, keep reading it, because I'll find you if you're not, but have a good read of it. And there's also other works he's done as well. There's the Age of Bede and Lives of Saints. Anyway, I've got to go. You take care till we meet again. Far heel. Bye.